Hi, welcome to BG24 Public Affairs Show. I'm Gary Malveaux, and this is Jasmine Burnett and Ejante Hall.
And on tonight's show, we'll be joined by Jacqueline Nathan from the BGSU Fine Arts Department. She'll be here to talk about what is coming up for them and events we can look forward to.
Then later on, we will be joined by Timothy L., a BGSU student who has created an app that is now available in your app markets. He will be here to show us how his app works and talk about all his amazing success.
That all sounds great. We will also be joined by Allison Palmer, a representative from the BGSU student organization Aid for Change. She will be here to talk with us about all that they can do for the community and ways that we can give back.
And then later on, we'll be chatting about a recent pop star who is getting slammed for her lyrics and what she has to say about it.
That'll be really exciting. It should be a great show. Stay tuned because it all happens after the break. Welcome back. I'm here with Jacqueline Nathan, who is the Gallery Director of the Fine Arts Department at BGSU. It's great to have you here.
Great to be here, Gary.
How are you today?
I'm excellent.
So can you tell us a little bit about being a gallery director?
Sure. It's one of those jobs where you wear many, many hats and do all kinds of things. Some of the fun parts are getting to pick artists and put up shows, and some of the not so fun things are watering the plants and writing the grants.
Oh,
but
sounds rough. Got to do it though. Now, I understand that you're also a curator. So what is that?
A curator, as I said, is the person who gets to pick artists and decide on how the shows will be composed. And we have shows that are outside artists all during the fall, and then during the spring we have student shows. And I don't pick those because our students are already here. Yeah.
So can you tell us about any shows that you have right now or that are coming up?
I would love to do that. We have a show right now called Telling Truths, Speaking Secrets, and that is a show of two artists, and that show is in conjunction with the Identity Project, which is a university and community project that's been going on for this whole semester, and we're kind of coming towards the end of it right now. Telling Truths, Speaking Secrets has a fashion designer named Noel Palomo Levinsky, and a young woman who was born in Nigeria, grew up in Britain, and is now residing in Brooklyn, New York, and she does wonderful drawings, and they're both about the idea of identity. The first artist, Noelle, gets her inspiration from websites. She goes on websites like Bridezilla's, and then she designs dresses that incorporate the sayings that she finds on them, and some of them, you know, you'd think somebody getting married would be really happy, but some of the things that are on there are kind of mean. So so the dresses that she designs embody those ideas that she finds, and she also uses printed excerpts from the websites. And then Ruby's work is all about her hybrid identity as a person who you know, has had all these different places and lived all these different places and is trying to figure out who she is. And she's coming on November 10th. So we're really excited to have her come and give a talk, and I hope everybody will come. And following her talk, actually, and also in conjunction with the Identity Project, we will have a presentation by the Bowling Green High School Drama Department.
Oh, wow. Called
Traffic Jam, which is about sex trafficking in Northwest Ohio, and it's just a short program at 8 p.m. So it's going to be a great night to be at the art galleries. Actually, Ruby's talk, I think, is in the Wolf Donnell Theater.
Okay.
So that's at 6 p.m. So that's a Monday night. Nothing else to do Monday night,
of course
right?
Not, no.
So that'll be a great night. And actually, a couple days before that, on the Friday, November 7th, there's more Identity Project activity, which is a symposium called Investigating Identity. And so that's all day Friday from 10 to 4, and there are videos, there are presenters, we're going to have tattoo artists, we're going to have people talking about, we're going to have the humanities troupe doing the Othello problem during the lunch hour. We're going to provide coffee and desserts for people, and it's all free and open to the public. we'll even provide parking passes for people who are off campus and want to come in.
So that's really wonderful.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. We're hoping to have a lot of people come by. They don't have to stay all day long, and there's several sessions each hour. So.
Now, can I ask you how you got into this?
Oh, well, I started out as an art student, and then for a while I was a counselor, and then for a while I wasn't sure what I was going to do. So eventually I went back to school and got a degree in arts management, and found this job, and I've been at this job for a long time, and it's a good one.
Wow. Well, thank you for being here, Jacqueline. When we come back, we will hear an innovative app from a BGSU student.
Hi, welcome back to BG Public Affairs Show. Joining us right now, we have Tim L. Thank you for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so I'm going to jump into it because I really want to know about this Brindle app. So what made you create Brindle?
It all started when my father, he asked me about what I want to do in my future. I couldn't tell him. Spent some time thinking, and the only thing I came up with was producing a website.
Okay.
So next thing I knew, I was spending nights trying to figure out how to, and then I started researching, figured out how to make a website without being able to code, because I couldn't code at the moment. And 2.5 years later, I'm figuring out how to make an app, and there I am.
That is amazing. So what makes your app different from others?
In particularly, most apps, or at least I should say very few apps, actually cater to directing their users to outside material per se.
Okay.
So like, let's say on Facebook, pretty much what you're doing is you're interacting in Facebook and Facebook only. You're sending messages and so on and so forth.
Okay.
However, with my app, you have the ability to access Facebook or access Twitter, access all your other social networks, as well as various online media sources.
Okay. And how did you come up with the name?
I was sitting one night and I was changing my name from the original website name because I was for a different brand. And I wanted something that incorporated both my father's last name and my last name as well. And what I came up with was using his first two letters from Brooks, which is the BR, and reversing my last name, which is ELL, to LLE. And I just started playing with words and figuring out what domain names were available, and Brindle fit.
Brindle fit. So BRINDLLE?
Yes, 2 L's.
2 L's. Y'all, 2 L's. All right. Okay, so how long did it take for you to create this app?
Well, after I spent most of my time researching on how to build the app. As far as creating the initial rough draft, that worked fairly quickly simply because I had to find a platform that allowed me to build it without coding at the moment.
Okay.
And as for how I got to this final draft, it was work over the course of the next 6 months or so.
All right. So what is the hardest part about managing this app? And I mean, you know, for me, like I said, I have the app and I honestly don't know how to manage it. So if you just want to go ahead and give us like a little quick demonstration of everything, and you know, we can ask questions throughout. So if you want to just go ahead and start giving us our demonstration, that'll be great. So for one, they have to have like a login. They can log in through Twitter or Facebook, right?
Actually, there is a slight exception to that. The app is open access, so you can access the menu without necessarily logging in, and you can direct yourself to everything.
Okay.
But you can synchronize with Facebook or use your Facebook information or Twitter information as a login.
Okay, so could you like just go ahead and just do like a basic login for us if that was?
Well, actually, I'm already logged in, but if I'll log out, if it'll let me log out.
Okay.
See, you have login, which is basically if you wanted to create with new information,
Right.
Facebook or Twitter. Don't really want to log in because that'll kind of be giving away my information.
Okay, that's okay.
But I can't access everything else.
Okay, and so could you go back to like the whole drop down screen when you have like all of everything on there, right? And so when a person automatically signs into this, or when a person automatically signs in, are all those already implemented on the app?
Yes.
All right,
everything.
so I want to do something with Facebook. So what happens when I want to do something with Facebook?
Just simply tap Facebook. I'm already logged in, but it will ask you just like on Facebook to log in with your Facebook information.
Okay.
And you're right on Facebook straight from that.
Okay, so this actually helps students with storage because like me, I have the Twitter app, Facebook app, all these different apps. And so your app takes this one app and it combines all these 60+ thousand apps.
Exactly.
Is that right? So that means I can save storage on my phone. Is that what you're telling me?
Essentially, yes.
I'm about to delete because I didn't get the new update for the iPhone.
It works.
Oh my gosh. So do you have anybody else in your corner who is actually helping you with this app, or are you just like the main person that's doing all the work?
As far as the technical support, I am the only person working on it. I do have financial backers, but that is as far as it goes.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks again, Tim, for being here. That is actually all that we have today. Thank you for letting us into your very own Brindle app. Remember to download the Brindle app on Google Play or Apple's own App Store free of charge. When we come back, Allison Palmer will be here with Aid for Change.
Welcome back to BG24 News. I'm here with Allison Palmer from the organization Aid for Change. Hi, Allison. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Amazing. I'm so glad to have you here. Now, Aid for Change is a new campus organization. I was trying to find information and I couldn't find it. I Googled it and the organization I found was completely different. So what exactly is Aid for Change?
Well, Aid for Change is a new organization here on campus that's grounded in philanthropy. So what we do is we raise funds through a lot of various different fundraisers, so it can vary. And what we do is we take 100% of that money and we'll give it back to the community in some way. And that also can vary as to like who we're targeting. It can vary by the season, by anything really.
So how did you get started? What made you start this organization?
Well, the vice president, Audrey McMahon, and I, first we wanted to actually do something with underdeveloped nations. We wanted to send equipment down there that they didn't have that was necessary for survival actually. So we wanted to do that, but we understood that first we had to start local. So when we developed Aid for Change, we decided to do projects around the Midwest and around the Toledo area, and we would eventually like to expand to helping people abroad.
That's so amazing. So you said that you have events to raise funds. What kind of events do you host to raise money?
That can also vary, and what we do, we're really big on taking member feedback. So we ask the members what they want to do, and then we incorporate that. Our next upcoming event is on the 15th. We have a winter clothing drive in Toledo, where we will be giving away winter clothing to those in the area who cannot afford it. But like I said, things vary, and we like to base it on what the members would like to do.
So is there a goal amount that you try to reach throughout?
It depends on the project. So like for the winter clothing drive, there will be approximately 100 people there that would need hats, gloves, scarves, coats, things like that. So for this project specifically, maybe we would need like 500 to 700. But with different projects, the amount can definitely change. Yeah.
So you said you give to like various organizations. Like give a few examples of organizations that you give to.
We like to focus on nonprofits. So the winter clothing drive, that would be at the Friendly Center in Toledo, which is basically like a community center. And we actually have a concert coming up where we're gonna be partnering with a homeless shelter. Since we are new, those are the only 2 events we have in the works so far, but we will have more to come later.
I've seen that you were doing an ice cream social, so tell us a little bit about that.
Well, what that is since Monday will be our second general body meeting, and since our members are just getting to know each other, we wanted to have a social event. So they said that they wanted to have ice cream, some said they wanted to do arts and crafts, so that's why we did it.
So how would students get involved? Is that like part of what the ice cream social is?
Definitely, but other than that, they can go to our OrgSync page, it's just named Aid for Change, and request to join. Or they can just come to our events and they'll be on the list.
So what other events do you have going this semester?
Well, other than that, so far we have the Winter Benefit Concert, which will be in December. We will be teaming up with about 5 different choirs on campus, and all the proceeds from that will go to a homeless shelter. Other than that, nothing yet, but definitely more to come.
So what is your ultimate goal for this new organization?
Ultimate goal, like I started off with, is to eventually expand to helping people globally. That is something that we all as an organization understand that we can't do right off the bat. So we're definitely gonna be focusing on the region so far, but that's our ultimate goal.
So that's what I seen on the big website. It was like foreign. I was like, what is this? I'm like, I don't know if that's what they're doing. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thanks again, Allison, for being here. It's always a pleasure to have such positive people on the show. Stay tuned. When we come back, we'll be talking about Taylor Swift and how she took a stand against sexism.
Hi, welcome back to BG24 Public Affairs, and it is now discussion time. I know y'all been waiting for this.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Swifties? Yep. Okay, so T Swift Day was on Monday. She just released her newest album, 1989. It's actually T as 1989. And it's a little controversial going on around her as a person as a whole. And basically they're just saying that she talks about her boyfriends too much.
That is so not true.
I mean, she does talk about her boyfriends a lot.
But it's like, that's what her life is.
Exactly.
And it's like, what do they want her to do? Fake her whole music career to please people?
She's calling them sexist because there are other artists like Bruno Mars, Ed Sheeran, who always talk about their exes, but they never get anything for it. Like, no one ever comments on their love lives. They only comment on Taylor Swift. And I mean, I think it's just because she's like so in the public eye. Like, Ed Sheeran and Bruno Mars aren't so much like their love lives aren't like on like blast like hers is.
Because of the people that she's dating.
Exactly. Yeah, she's dating more like famous people than they are, yeah.
Right, well, T Swift said, the most important thing for me is maintaining artistic integrity, which means as a songwriter, I will continue to write about my life. So she really told the critics how she felt.
Sticking to her guns. And it is a little sexist. I mean, my favorite rapper, Drake, he talks about all his relationships all the time. I mean, and he's not getting the backlash that she gets for it.
I feel like men just as a whole don't get backlash for
it's
their
applauded.
Music. Yeah.
All the women that you talk to, you're supposed to flaunt that. You're supposed to talk about that as a man, but for women, that's not okay.
Exactly.
According to media. I mean, I support Taylor Swift.
But how do we exactly know, like, if, you know, all of her songs are about, you know, her relationships? Because what, Shake It Off? What is, I mean, what, I don't think that's about a relationship.
No, that's just about, like,
it's a song.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah,
and
they're hating
on her.
Exactly.
And they're hating on her. The critics. The critics got her attention, and she wrote this song for her critics.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
But most of her songs are about her relationship.
I mean,
she's making money.
But she is a strong woman. She has gone through all of these relationships, and she has survived. I will stick by Taylor Swift.
Gary loves Taylor Swift. Anybody out there, Gary loves Taylor Swift. He is not playing.
I already bought that album.
Gary already brought the album.
He was Target to get the album. So
he was actually listening to it. He was actually listening to it. Yes, that is bad. So, I think Taylor Swift as a whole, she's only 24. She's young. So what else is she supposed to, you know, sing about? She doesn't have art.
Yeah.
You know, she's this nice young girl from the country, I should say. Her first pop album. You know, she's usually used to country. It's her first pop album. So she's actually doing a lot of stuff for her fans and things like that. So I don't think that the critics should be on her like that as much.
She can't win for losing because it's like, okay, when she makes a song and she's talking about a relationship, they hate it. But then for that Shake It Off video, they talked about her for that too. So it's like, what do you want from the girl? What is it that she can do to please you?
And I also think that it's kind of the radio's fault too, because the radio picks the songs that are about her love life. Because there are songs that aren't about relationships, like Never Grow Up is about not growing up. But they only pick the ones that are about that, and they play that on the radio constantly. So that's the only thing the public hears if they're not like Swifties like us.
Well, I think they play those songs a lot is because, well, like I said, she's 24, and a lot of people, a lot of 24-year-old young women can relate to that. Like if I just went through a breakup, I might just pop on some Taylor Swift or some Drake. You know, he's very sentimental, but I would possibly pop on some Drake or some Taylor Swift because you know they're going through it.
He's sentimental because he's a man talking about his relationship. I mean, it can go both
ways.
It
could go both ways.
There you go.
You threw him under the bus. You said he was sentimental.
It can go. Look, it could go both ways. But the question that I pose for you is, why is the music industry so opposed, you know, to the man? Like, why aren't they, you know, like why aren't they on Bruno Mars or Ed Sheeran like they are on Taylor Swift? Like, why do you think that is?
Because it's not just the music industry. That's a society thing.
Yeah.
Like that's the standard that we set. Like we said, that's okay for men. It's okay for men to date. It's okay for them to exploit their relationships. But for women, that's not okay. If you are dating, then you really don't need to talk about it. Don't have your business in the streets. So I don't really blame the music industry. I think they're just keeping it going.
I don't know. I really think that is a really good topic that you said, or a really good idea that you said. Necessarily, I think that when you said it's a society thing, and I think when it comes to Drake, for instance, the critics don't say anything about him, but more so society does
His
say a
peers
lot
come for him.
about it.
Exactly,
His male
yeah.
peers come
Yeah.
for him a lot and say that he's soft because his music isn't. He hasn't shot anybody in his music. He isn't robbing anybody in his music.
But that's not who he is as a
Everything
person.
Right, that's not who he is as a person. So they want Taylor Swift to be making music that's just not her.
Exactly. Like, why would she do that? This is what's making her money right now. This is like making her successful, so she needs to keep doing it.
And that's her life. I mean, do you
Exactly.
want her to really be? If she was to create something else to be talking about,
It
then
wouldn't be
would
as like
fake.
hard
It would be
hitting. Yeah.
genuine.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all for T Swift. I like her music. I did not get her latest I Don't Have 1989.
Can't even talk to you right now.
We're done with you.
Please do not do
You could at
this.
least got the iTunes.
Please stay tuned because after the break, we will be telling you what to expect next week on BG24 Public Affairs.
I still cannot believe you didn't get Taylor Swift's album.
Okay, look, let me say something. Are you going to buy it for me?
I will not buy it for you, but I think that you should own it. As a human being, everyone needs Taylor Swift's album.
I got the iTunes version. You want me to have the Target version? Target is far.
Target might be far, but it has bonus tracks.
All right, you
iTunes?
try.
It has 3 bonus
You
tracks
try.
and 3 extra songwriting memos.
iTunes don't have that?
No, it does
No,
not.
the iTunes
does
version
not
doesn't have
that.
it.
Oh, excuse me.
Target always supports
Maybe,
Taylor Swift.
maybe they don't support Taylor Swift. like that.
iTunes definitely supports everyone supports Taylor Swift except for her critics.
Except for
Once again, haters gonna hate.
Hey, okay, give us the lyric. Go ahead.
I am not gonna sing the song.
Come on,
That's the
please.
song,
Just
yeah,
do it.
you
If
do
you're a
it.
Swiftie, you would do it.
No, okay, well, that's our show for tonight. Thank you for joining us.
On next week's show, we'll be joined by an ambitious young woman who has had nothing but success with weight loss and health. She'll be here to talk about things that you can do better to your health.
That's right. We will also be joined by a beautiful dance performance on the Nutcracker done by a local dance studio.
Sounds like a great show. Don't forget to tune in.
All right, and that's it that we have for everyone. So good night, everyone.